Welcome to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper, here on WTIM, your information station. Joining me, Alicia Callison. She's the Nature Center Manager of the Macon County Conservation District. She's at the Nature Center for, Rock Springs Nature Center, Alicia?
Yes, Rock Springs Nature Center in Decatur, Illinois.
Thank you, and that's part of the Macon County Conservation District. Now, you are here to talk about some of the programs that you have coming up, and I understand that there's a really big meteor shower happening here pretty soon.
That is correct. So we are in the midst of the Geminids, which is one of our annual meteor showers. It is known as one of the most beautiful meteor showers that we get all year. And of course, it has to happen in December, right? But you can see up to 60 meteors per hour, theoretically. And usually they're pretty colorful too. Sometimes we see, yellows and greens and blues and things like that. So we're having a program where we're going to go out to Friends Creek Conservation Area, which is kind of out in the Argena-Cisco area. And it gets really dark out there. So we will kind of set up a spot. We'll have some hot chocolate. You can bring out a lawn chair or a blanket, maybe both, and just sit and watch the stars and see how many meteors we can see. That program is usually pretty popular. It's a really fun family activity if you want to get out there with the whole family and see what you can see. And we will be doing that this Saturday at 9 p.m. Out at Friends Creek Conservation Area.
And if you want to head out and enjoy the Geminid meteor shower, how can you do so?
Sure. So we just like to kind of know ahead of time how many people to expect so we know how many supplies to bring for hot chocolate. So we just ask that you go on our website, which is maconcountyconservation.org, and just register for that program on our website. It's pretty easy to do.
No cost to register?
Nope, that is a free program.
Nice. All right. Free is best. And and so that's coming up again Saturday. And then what else do you guys have coming up? I know December's a little bit of a down month, but still lots to do at the Macon County Conservation District.
Yeah, so like you said, December is kind of a quieter month when it comes to programming. We've got so many holidays this month, and it's colder, so not a lot of people tend to want to get out. But we do have, in January, a night hike coming up, which is another really popular program that we do. This one will take place at Rock Springs Nature Center in the south side of Decatur. And it's just really fun. We get outside and we go for a walk down our bike trail, and we just kind of test our senses. It's obviously it's a lot harder to see at night. So we talk a little bit about how nocturnal animals adapt to life in the dark and how well maybe we are suited for life in the dark. And we kind of test our nose and our ears and some other things, and we just kind of go out in the dark and have some fun.
I'm sure that's very educational too for some of the youngsters.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have some of the, if you're a parent at home looking for something to do, that'd be something great to bring them out to. Now, I understand in terms of programs and you are or have recently received a grant to aid in some of the barriers of providing programs to youngsters, or rather having them come to you, or you could even go to them. Tell me a little bit more about this grant.
Yeah, so we're lucky that we have a really good relationship with several community organizations here in Macon County, and one of those organizations is the Decatur Audubon Society. We've worked really closely with them on a lot of things over the years, and one thing that they have done for us recently, which we're super grateful for, is they've offered us some grants. And the awesome thing that this grant kind of focuses on is bus transportation. So busing can be very expensive for a lot of schools that have limited budgets. And so oftentimes when a teacher wants to take their kiddos out on a field trip, the bus is actually the limiting factor. And so Audubon is offering up to $10,000 in bus grants. So we can get some of these school groups out here and teach them about nature and history and some of our local natural resources. So we've got that money available. If there are teachers listening to this that want to bring their kiddos out here, we'd absolutely love to work with you. One other thing that this grant will cover is to actually bring us to you. So we can come to your school and do a program at your school or in your classroom if your current COVID guidelines allow that. Or if you have a lot of restrictions because of COVID, we can do a Zoom program too. So we can do something digital, we can do something online and still try to reach your kiddos. So this grant money can cover any of that. And we really encourage you to reach out and take advantage of that while we've got it.
What does it mean to you to be able to now have that grant? As opposed to beforehand when you didn't have it, what how much of a difference do you think that it will make in being able to provide programs to school-aged children?
I think it will definitely make a difference. A couple of years back, they offered grants that were specifically for busing and not for anything else, and we definitely noticed a difference when it came to how many groups we had out here with the bus grants versus before when we didn't have the bus grants. Um, so it's definitely beneficial. It's a good incentive, I think, to get some groups out here that maybe wouldn't have normally come out here. And it's just a great way for us to reach some of these kids, especially with all of the COVID stuff that's been going on. A lot of these groups have not been able to go on field trips since March of last year. Um, so just being able to offer this and hopefully reach some of those groups again is really important, I think.
You're giving away some mini camp kits for younger kids. What are those?
So these are we're not actually giving them away. These are something that we do have a small fee for.
Oh, okay.
They're $6 a kit, so it's not a huge fee or anything like that. But throughout the year, we have what we call mini camps, which are hour-long programs for kids ages 1 through 5, and they come out here and they learn about nature. They do a craft. They do some activities. They do some nature exploration. During the winter, it's a little bit harder to do some of those things. It's cold outside. There's holidays. There's a lot of stuff to try and plan around. So we've recently started offering what we call mini camp kits. So people can register for one on our website, come and pick it up, and then do all of those mini camp activities at home with their kids and with their family at home. So we've got some activities they can do. There's a craft, there's a snack, and just some other ideas of how to kind of incorporate some of these camp themes into their homes.
All right. Thank you, Alicia. Back with you in just a moment here on the WTIM Morning Show on the Big 870 across Central Illinois and streamed online on the TaylorvilleDailyNews.com Facebook.
Rolling Meadows Senior Living is accepting applications for residency. Rolling Meadows offers seniors 62 and older a smoke-free facility with round-the-clock maintenance, controlled access, large kitchens with full-size appliances, on-site laundry facilities, and a resident computer center, just to name a few of the amenities offered. Call 217-287-2450 to schedule an appointment. Rolling Meadows is sponsored by Lutheran Social Services of Illinois and funded through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and Federal Home Bank of Chicago. Rolling Meadows is an equal housing opportunity provider. or call 287-2450.
Merry Christmas from all of us at McClure Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Taylorville. This is Scott McClure, happy to be a sponsor of Nonstop Christmas Music on Cruisin' 98.3 and the exclusive sponsor of the TaylorvilleDailyNews.com Christmas Music Channel as our way of wishing your family the most blessed holiday season and a great 2022. From now through December 26, tune in to Cruisin' 98.3 or go to TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and simply click the play button on the Christmas Music Channel icon to hear all of your holiday favorites 24/7.
We're the late night place to be. Hi, Jim Bohannon here, host of the Jim Bohannon Show, heard weeknights from 9 till midnight on all of the News Talk WTIM platforms. Join me with stimulating guests and your calls on the topics of the day. We bring you guests to keep you in the know every weeknight from 9 till midnight. It's the Jim Bohannon Show on 96.1 FM in Christian County, 107.5 FM in Shelby County, and 107.7 in Moultrie County. Plus streamed at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com on the WTIM mobile app and Amazon Alexa.
This is Jerry Lowry with Window Genie in Taylorville. To learn more about our services, click on our icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
This is Megan Lopez with Nesty's Burger Joint on the south side of the Taylorville Square. To see our menu, click on our icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper, here with Rock Springs Conservation Center Manager Alicia Callison. She works with the Macon County Conservation District, and it's great to have you here, Alicia. You're a pretty busy bunch of people over at the Conservation District, aren't you?
Yes, we've got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, and that includes a bunch of, I don't know about a bunch, but some really cool exhibits. There's a temporary one, and then you also, I'll let you break the news on the bigger one, perhaps.
Yeah, so for the temporary exhibit, one thing that we try to do here inside the Nature Center is we've got an exhibit space that we try to rotate information in about every 3 or 4 months. So we try to have something new in here for you to see the next time you come out. So right now we've got an exhibit in that space about the Sangamon River and some of the animals and plants that you might find there, how people have used the Sangamon River, throughout history, and just some other interesting things about the river itself. That exhibit will be up through the end of this month, and then we'll switch out in January for a new one. And I think that one will probably be about space, but we're still working on that one. And then the other really exciting news is that we've got a permanent exhibit that we're currently working on. So if you've ever been to the Nature Center before, we had this big exhibit space when you first walk in that taught you about the different habitats that we have here in Macon County. And that exhibit space is awesome, but it's 20 years old or so. It was dated. It needed an update and to be brought kind of into today, and some new info too. So we were lucky that we received a pretty large grant from the Department of Natural Resources last year. And that grant money is going toward a brand new exhibit that's going to teach you about the Macon County Conservation District, who we are and what we do and why we do it. It's going to teach you about the history of the land that we try to protect and preserve. It's going to teach you about conservation, what it is, why it's important, and some of the conservation success stories that we've seen. So things like the bald eagle and river otters and turkeys. And then it's also going to teach you a little bit about how you can help at home, just with small things that you can do to help conserve our natural resources. So we're really, really excited about this exhibit. And right now, as I speak, we've got people that are installing it. So it is coming along quickly. And we're hopeful that in March, so just a couple of months from now, we'll be able to have a grand opening for this brand new, wonderful exhibit.
Sounds like a great addition to the Conservation Center. I want to back up a little bit to your December exhibit, the one that you cycle in and out. Now, without giving away, it's obviously about the Sangamon River. Without giving it away, like the entirety of the exhibit, what's something interesting that you could learn with this exhibit about the Sangamon River?
While we were putting it together, I thought it was really interesting to learn about some of the different plants that you might find in and around the river. I think that's something people don't really think about that much. When we think about life in the river, we think about fish and we think about turtles, and we think about, charismatic animals like otters and beavers. But we don't necessarily think about the plant life that we might find. So, a lot of people aren't that interested in plants, so maybe that's just something that was interesting to me, but I thought it was kind of cool to learn about some of those plant species.
What's the most interesting plant that you learned about? Or at least in
I
your
learned
opinion,
about
obviously.
Sure. So there is a subspecies of a type of flower called phlox that apparently is only found, or was only found. I'm not sure if it's still there, but was only found along the Sangamon River in one small spot. So it's not found anywhere else. It was a really endangered subspecies of phlox. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's something you wouldn't have known unless you went to the conservation center. Now, you also, you also, I don't want to say employ, but you utilize volunteers to help you everything move along at the center. You guys are still looking, I'm sure, for anybody who wants to help.
Yeah, we love our volunteers out here. We genuinely could not do, half of the things, 75% of the things that we do here at the Nature Center without our wonderful volunteers. So we have, I want to say, between 250 and 300 active volunteers, which seems like a lot, but they're spread out. And they serve a lot of different roles. So we have some that are they sit at the desk inside the Nature Center and they greet people. We have some that go out on hikes and lead educational hikes for school groups. We've got some that just help with natural resources and they help collect seeds that can be planted in the future. And one volunteer group that we're really looking for more help in are history volunteers. So we have a house here called the Trobaugh Good House, and this house was built in roughly 1847, 1850. And we do tours of that house, and we have volunteers that kind of lead some of those tours. They wear historic period clothing, and they teach people about the house and why it's important, and just kind of about farm life in the 1860s. And we've really been looking for some more volunteers to help out with that. So if that sounds like something that's interesting, give us a call, and we'd love to talk with you.
And you are grant funded to an extent, but you also operate on the kind generosity of fellow people who just want to help out the conservation center. How can they do that if they feel so inclined?
Sure. So we actually have a fundraising arm of the district called the Macon County Conservation Foundation. And the foundation's goal is kind of to raise money to restore our natural areas through seed purchases and through actual getting in there and turning farmland back into prairie and back into forest and all of the stuff that comes along with that. So if you're interested in making a charitable donation to help out those causes, you can go to Macon County conservationfoundation.org. That's a long one, but you can, or just Google Macon County Conservation Foundation, and you can learn how to contribute that way.
Alicia, not a lot of time left. Anything that you'd like to touch on before you go?
Not specifically, just thanks for having me on, and I hope that everybody that's listening has a wonderful holiday.
Right, and you guys are looking forward to that Geminid meteor shower coming up Saturday. What time does that start again?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, and you can sign up at maconcountyconservation.org.
That's right, yep.
All right, thank you, Alicia.
Thank you.
Listening to the WTIM Morning Show.
With With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in